For our next panel discussion, Darren Swanson is going to chair, and I'd like to thank Peter for his excellent chairmanship of session 3. Thank you.
If I could ask all the panelists for this session to sit up at the front here with if you have your name cards with you. If not, perhaps Juanita could grab the name cards from outside the room or inside the room, wherever they may be. Sorry, Peter, that bumps you off the front row. Okay. Well, for people in the room and also for the online participants, fasten your seatbelts. We have approximately, we're going to go with about 70 minutes here to have a very sort of wide perspective discussion. We have 5 excellent panelists joining us, and this session is designed to really put a number of perspectives on the table regarding eco-efficiency and sustainable economic, the sustainable economy. And so what we want to do is roll through some interventions, discussion from each of the panelists. We'll do that in sort of rapid succession, and then have questions after that discussion. Because what we want to do is foster questions from both online participants and in the room that can touch across the different presentations. Okay, so fasten your seatbelts. We're in for some really good information here, and please work at crafting some questions that really cut across the different presentations. Panelists, 2 at that end. Come on down to this end. Over here. Sorry. All right. Well, to continue on the discussion on eco-efficiency and sustainable economy, I mean, we're trying to get at a number of questions here in this the particular panel session here. For example, while sort of resource efficiency is critical, how do we avoid things like rebound effect? Questions like, can rice production ever move away from fertilizer and pesticide water-intensive production to, but still meet food needs? Questions like green growth and sustainable development. How do we sort of differentiate terminology or combine? And how has climate change altered the questions that need to be sort of asked with regard to sustainable development and energy discussions? These questions are coming up in all regions, and just to give you some quick perspective, in my home city in Winnipeg in Canada, in the sort of the middle part of Canada, we have a lake, Lake Winnipeg, an hour's drive north of the city. It's one of the 10 largest freshwater lakes in the world, and it is also one of the most highly eutrophic lakes in the world due to nutrients from a number of sources across the landscape. And people are starting to look at sort of this resource efficiency or even the bioeconomy type terminology or frameworks to turn problems into opportunities. So looking at the nutrients that enter the lake in Lake Winnipeg, trying to capture those across the landscape and actually through best management practices and technologies turn that problem into new value chains actually that can provide local economic opportunities, and while at the same time the co-benefit of water quality improvements. And there are research projects ongoing that, for example, that look at in wetlands the harvesting of certain vegetation that capture phosphorus nutrients and then can be used to generate energy in biogas plants and then they regenerate in the following season. So lots of interesting things going on, lots of innovation. These types of conversations are being had around the world, and we are going to have 5 such examples here in our panel. And I will just go one by one here and introduce our speakers. And our first speaker is Mr. Peter DuPont. He is the Chief of Party with Eco Asia Clean Development and Climate Program. He's a USAID contractor with the International Resource Group here in Bangkok. and he has a number of a good 25 years of experience in sustainable energy and efficiency programs in the United States and Asia. Since about '89, he's worked throughout the Asia region and in NGO, private sector, and government sector organizations to design and implement clean energy strategies and initiatives. He's worked in U.S. agencies such as USAID, the Department of State, with Asia-Pacific Partnerships on Clean Development and Climate. He's worked on energy savings plans for Thailand and Vietnam, directed international nonprofit organizations on clean energy issues, and leads currently the major regional USAID program in Asia promoting clean energy options. So, Mr. DuPont, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay. Morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Morning. Okay. So we'll start off with some funnies. So I'll just let you absorb this. I don't know if the on the internet, if you're, are they seeing the slides on the internet feed? Yeah.
Won't with you sitting up here. Perhaps perhaps it might be best if you want to.
Okay. I'll move.
Okay.
I love this cartoon because we talk about the co-benefits, and the punchline here is, what if it's a big hoax, climate change that is, and we create a better world for nothing? Okay. So I have just two more slides. Okay. My contribution to this panel will be talking about financing mechanisms and the missing middle. And I think for all of the disparate types of environmental or energy sector remedies that we're talking about, you have to have financing. And often, as we know from Stefano's talk earlier today, the markets are imperfect. Economics cannot describe everything. And especially in the smaller markets in the area of clean energy that I'm going to talk to you about, a little bit of mentoring and cultivation of networks can have a big impact. In the area of climate change, a lot of the discussion is talking about technology transfer and how to make this happen. And I'm going to describe something called the Private Financing Advisory Network and how it bridges the missing middle, the gap of the missing middle for small and medium companies that provide energy solutions. So here on the left, you have clean energy businesses and projects. This could be any sort of eco-efficiency service provider, actually. It happens to be energy because that's the area where the Private Financing Advisory Network is working. These entrepreneurs are looking for money for their projects. On the right, you have investment sources. These could be carbon buyers who are trying to comply with carbon caps and requirements in developed countries. They could be clean energy funds. They could be investors who are interested in the clean energy sector. They're having a hard time finding jobs. So the problem is not lack of projects or lack of money. There's plenty of both. So the question is how you get how you attack that missing middle. And so what the Private Financing Advisory Network does, this is a network that was set up under the auspices of the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change by something called the Climate Technology Initiative. It's global now. The program that I lead, the USAID Eco-Asia program, Eco-Asia Clean Development and Climate Program, has set up networks in 4 countries. Essentially, we go out to the forest looking for projects. We've identified trees, we fertilize trees, we select the best fruit, we wash the fruit, and we put the fruit on a silver platter for the investor. That's essentially how we breach the missing middle there. And this is done mainly through coaching and mentoring with business advisors and legal advisors who participate at a reduced fee or pro bono. As part of our USAID program, we also address the policy issues. There are policy barriers that impact the ability of these clean energy companies to sell their electricity to the grid, for example. And we also do some capacity building for financial institutions. Okay. In the interest of time, I'll just